Welcome to Kiva's Place, the Kiva Murdoch Show and podcast. We hope that by the end of our show, you're left feeling empowered, motivated, and connected. So come on in the room, grab your favorite drink, sit back, and enjoy the ride because you're finally at home at Kiva's Place. Now give it up for our host and producer, Coach Kiva Lernice Murdoch.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another amazing episode of Kiva's Place, the Kiva Murdoch Show and podcast. I am your host and executive producer, Kiva Lernice Murdoch, and I am so excited for this show tonight. As you are aware, we are right slap dab in the middle of our book tour for Imperfectly Fierce and Focused, rising above your imperfections while still crushing your goals. And tonight we have all of the contributing authors on this project in the house tonight. So I am so excited about this show tonight. So you've been meeting them periodically throughout this particular series, which is our second part of our series for this anthology project, but this is our first opportunity to have everyone on as a group. So I'm going to go ahead and bring them on and we're going to talk to them about this project. But before I actually do that, just to let you know, definitely like and follow our page on Facebook and Instagram, Imperfectly Fierce and Focused. There you will stay abreast of all of the upcoming information, the book release, which is going to be very, very soon, and any other pertinent information regarding this particular project. So you don't want to miss anything. So like and follow our pages as soon as possible, because I'm telling you, this book is phenomenal. I have read the chapters myself, and we're going to actually talk a little bit on what you can expect in this book project as well. So let's go ahead and bring everybody on. So let me introduce our authors to you. We have Miss Fortuna Kirkendall, Miss Lisa Dove Washington, and not only is she one of our contributing authors, she's the publishing, as she's a publisher as well, Touched by a Dove Publishing. I have Miss Amy Arizmendi, Dr. Tina D. Lewis, Omu Obalor, and Dr. Jacqueline Kabai Harrison. We can say Dr. Jacqueline now, Kabai Harrison. So welcome, ladies. I'm so excited to have you guys. So we're going to go one by one and allow an opportunity, just a couple minutes for you to introduce yourselves to our audience. And we'll start with Fatina.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. And it's a privilege and a pleasure to be here tonight. Like she mentioned before, my name is Fatina Kirkendall. I with Chronicles of a Favorite Woman, and I am one of the contributing authors to this #1 Amazon bestseller. I'm going to speak it. So I am excited to be a part of this project. It's very personal for me. And I'm excited to be amongst beautiful queens. I love it.
I love it. Thank you, Queen. Miss Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Dove Washington. Good evening, everyone. As you said too, Fatina, I'm excited to be here with these wonderful ladies. I'm excited about what this project is going to do and how it's going to change lives. Believe me when I say everybody on this project is imperfectly fierce and focused. And I'm hoping that this book will show you how to get there too. So welcome and thank you so much for having us here.
You are welcome. Thank you, Queen. Miss Amy.
Hi, I'm Amy Arizmendi. I am the founder and CEO of ABR Coaching, Consulting, and Training. Thank you, Kiva, for just having us here tonight and hosting us all. It's so amazing to sit here with you all and just feel this energy. I'm super excited for tonight.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here, Amy. I greatly appreciate you. Dr. Tina.
Hey, welcome every single one of you. I am blown away, ecstatic. Listen, there's very seldom that you can get me excited, right? Because I excited and have a party all by myself. But to be along with these wonderful, listen, these women are phenomenal. If you don't know who they are, look them up, follow them. Kiva, we just say thank you. Our hats off to you, visionary. Talk about having a vision. Imperfectly fierce and focused. You can be a hot mess and be a boss babe at the same time. We're going to give you true stories, practical steps to go out and crush your goals. But even if you don't crush your goals, you still can be imperfectly fierce and still be focused. My name is Dr. Tina D. Lewis, and I am getting ready to get up and run around this building. I'm so excited.
This is amazing. Thank you, Dr. Tina. All right, Miss Omu.
Hi everyone, my name is Omu Obilo and I am excited to be on this project with these amazing women. Thank you so much, Kiva. I'm all the way from Nigeria and it excites me even all the more. That's the only thing that will keep me awake after midnight. And I'm so happy to be here.
I appreciate you hanging in there with us, Queen. And last but not least, Dr. Jacqueline.
Oh my God, we are here. We are here. Wow, just a few days away, right, ladies? Oh, this is so exciting. So I'm Jacqueline Kabah Harrison, and I am the host for A Queen's Roundtable Leadership Symposium and A Queen's Roundtable Show and Podcast, and one of the co-authors of this Let's Speak It Out There #1 bestseller, Imperfectly Fierce and Focused, and I just can't wait. I'm excited.
Well, thank you for being here as well. Listen, can you guys believe we are at the home stretch? This process has gone by really fast, but I want to ask you, when we are talking about being imperfectly fierce and focused, rising above your imperfections while still crushing your goals, what has being a part of this particular project meant to you? And we can start with anybody can jump in.
I'm sorry. I've been a part of quite a few projects along the way, but this one hits me personally. It's very personal for me, and it allows me the opportunity to be very transparent. And people understand more, or they can relate to you more. They're relatable when you are authentic, when you are transparent. And I've learned that if you want to reach people, then you need to let people know you truly understand what they're going through. And so this project, what the name by itself, Imperfectly Fierce and Focused, that alone caught me. And I'm like, Miss Tina, I'm ready to run. I'm ready to run because when I look at the panel that we have together, only God. That's all I can say. Only God. So that's my spill.
And I'll go next. Actually, the words together, imperfectly fierce and focused. Rarely do you see all three of those words put into the same space. And that was kind of, I don't know, that magnified everything for me because I was like, wow. I think it kind of woke me up to the fact that we always kind of resonate with being imperfect about things, but we never connected with being fierce. And we absolutely don't think it's focused if we're imperfect and doing things all over the place. So that's what kind of inspired me because it made me kind of tap into me. Similar to what you said about being transparent, but I was actually being transparent with Lisa, and it woke me up to some things and gave me kind of this, it empowered me to kind of write down some things that maybe I was struggling with internally. So, I mean, I thank you for the opportunity. I couldn't let this pass by. So, yes, I'm so happy that I had that moment, that aha moment. So that was what it was for me.
Awesome. Anybody else? You're on mute.
That's a good. I'm done. I said what I no. All I can say is, Kiva, I can just say thank you. I mean, for reaching out to me to be the forwarding author or the forward author of the book was awesome. And so I said I had to think about it because I am very careful with what and who I align myself with. And I have a saying called alignment before assignment. Alignment before assignment. And it's extremely important that we have common denominators, that we have the same core values. And so I thought about the title, I prayed about it. I'm like, you know what, it's Kiva. Yes, it's alignment, it's aligned with who I am with Global Women Speakers. We speak and sell our messages all over the globe. And what is our message? That you can unite a tree, that you can go and travel anywhere, and your message is your glory. So people see our glory. They look at Lisa, they look at you, Keever, they look at Jackie. They see our glory, but they don't know our story. And so it's time for us to tell our story. It's time for us to tell people that we are not okay. It's okay to tell people that we're a hot mess, that we wake up a hot mess, but we get it together because we're committed to our assignment and we have been commissioned to deliver it. And so this book, I don't even like calling it a book. I don't even like calling it a compilation. I don't like calling it this. This is a tool. Ladies, I want you to listen. This is a tool. Put tool in the chat. TOOL. Yes, I'm talking funny. I had a gentle emergency, but I showed up anyway. That's being imperfectly fierce and focused. I'm focused. I'm speaking imperfectly, but you can hear the message. Don't listen to the words. Listen to the music. Don't listen to the words, listen to the music. This is a tool that if you're ready to be imperfect, to admit that you're imperfect, if you're ready to be fierce or more fierce, and you're ready to get laser focused, because this is halftime, ladies. This year is halfway gone. We have 6 months left. What are you going to do with it? Keever, back over to you.
And I love this particular book because, and I think you hit the nail right on the head, Dr. Tina. This is more than just a compilation. This is actually a movement. This is a movement, and it's not going to stop at this particular project. But what I love about this project, and Fatina said it perfectly, it allows you the opportunity to be honest with yourself and to be honest with who you serve. Because when a lot of people are looking at us from the outside looking in, we got everything together, right? We are always on point. Hair is always laid, makeup is always laid. They follow us all over these social media accounts, but they don't understand the day-to-day struggles.
Hold on, Kiva. She said that we're always together. That's Kiva. She's the queen. Matter of fact, she just had the pageant. Kiva, congratulations. You are absolutely amazing. But
thank you.
She is always together. Makeup flawless, hair not out of place. Now, all of us, the rest of us, you can read our stories and know that that's not us, but that is Kiva, our visionary. And so we're just trying to grow up and be like her.
Well, listen, and even with the queendomship, there are still days where you really have to talk yourself to moving. Like I'm gonna keep it a buck. Over the past couple of weeks, I've been a little under the weather, and there were days where I really had to talk myself into putting one foot in front of the other, and that's just real talk. And I'm so honored to have this particular project because it lets people take an honest look at where we are in our day-to-day journey, as well as our day-to-day challenges. And that's really important for people to see us authentically, being imperfectly fierce and focused. But I wanted to ask, and I'm going to start with Dr. Jacqueline. In this whole project, I believe that there's an opportunity for learning as well as growth in whatever you do. So, Dr. Jacqueline, I want to know from you, what have you learned about yourself during this entire process on this project?
Oof. Okay, it's been multiple things. I'm just trying to pull something that I can share, right now within this time frame. I think the biggest piece for me is that, and I even feel funny saying this, even still, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but just saying that I need help, right? Because I think that, people see you, whether it be friends, family, other people on social media, and they just kind of assume that you have everything together, and like you said, sometimes I'm over here like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? Like, is this really working? Do I just need to, wave the flag? What do they call it? The little surrendering flag and just pack it up, So it's just, so I guess for me, it's basically realizing that it's okay not to be okay. It's realizing when to ask for help, like what my strengths are and what some of my maybe weaknesses or areas that I need work on, like being honest with myself about that and actually reaching out saying, I need some help. I need some mentorship. And I think that this project itself came along at such a good time because I'm at a very pivotal point in my business as well as in my life right now. and being able to reach out for help is an area that I needed to really work on. So I would say there's a number of things, but I would say that's the top one that I can share with everyone now.
I love that. And there are a lot of us that really struggle asking for help. It's not easy saying, you know what? I need a little bit of assistance over here. Because for me personally, it's relinquishing some of that control. And that's something that I still struggle with. So I can 100% relate to that, Jacqueline. What about you, Amy?
Just tell me the question again. I was listening so intently to Jacqueline. I want to make sure I know what I'm answering.
Not a problem. What have you learned about yourself during this entire anthology project?
Lots of things, and probably most recently that I still have room to grow, and that there is more people, kind of along what Jacqueline was saying about asking for help, just acknowledging that there is a community around me that wants to help. I often hear people talk about finding your tribe, right? Or find your community. And yes, find your community and also acknowledge who's there, who has been there, right? We don't have to go out on a big quest to find them. They are there. And just also being present for others when I can. It's acknowledging what I can do and what I'm not able to do, and having that boundary or that awareness to say, I'm not able to help you right now, and feel okay about it, and help in whatever way I can, right? This project has helped me to embrace more of my story, to share the parts of myself that most people don't know. You know, the old cliche, that's nothing you write home about, right? That's okay. I may not write home about all the potholes I experience in life and how I come through it. However, it's worth sharing and encouraging others that, yeah, life gets rough sometimes, and we can find our way through. We just have to decide that we want to go through it. And it's not always going to look pretty. That's the thing. Since I've been on this project, I have had some big things come up, big. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. And then I just remind myself of whose I am, and I just keep going, because I was created for this. Like, this is what I go through, and what we all go through is no surprise to the one who created us. And so just having that assurance in life helps to, I want to curl up in a ball sometimes and just take a break, right? So that, for me, that's some of the bigger takeaways of just really stepping more into my divine power and all of who I am.
I love that. And you said a couple of things that I just wanted to emphasize before moving on. You said setting boundaries. How many of us struggle with that, right? I know I do, trying to be everything to everybody. And you really have to, that's not really healthy, trying to, you know, not really allowing yourself that space to say no. And I must commend you for that, Amy, because that's very hard to do, because as little girls, I grew up not really understanding what those boundaries even look like. So it's really important to make sure that we don't, as women, forget about ourselves, and it is okay to say no. I love that. um Dr. Tina,
Yes, ma'am.
have you learned anything about yourself during this particular process?
That I'm still a work under construction, I'm still a work under construction. God is not finished with me yet. That's number one. Number two is I discovered that it's just time. Like it's not just our time, it's our turn. There's so many things in our lives that we have been embarrassed to talk about, ashamed, you don't want people to know. And are we just going to write the same old story and have the same results? Or are we truly going to use what God gave us to be a gift to other people? Because I believe He doesn't give it to us unless He get it through us. And the circumstances that we've gone through, we are not alone. We're not by ourselves. It's kind of like, I don't know who, read a book that has a lot of parables in it. And it says, people thought that he was God's only one. He was like, I'm the only one. I'm here. I'm the only one. I'm the only one. He said, no, I have thousands of you that are still left, that are sharing the glory. And so that's us. You're not the only one that's going through that. There's nothing new under the sun, and you got to believe it. But more importantly, there's somebody that you can touch that won't listen to Tina. Tina is over the top. I am not everyone's cup of tea, but I would rather be someone's shot of tequila any day. And so someone will listen to Amy. And so we all have been assigned to a tribe that we must serve. That's the key word, serve. And so number one was God's not finished with me yet. Number two is that it's just time. It is time for us to truly wreak havoc on the enemy's kingdom. Like we got to stop being, and I know when I say this word, it really bothers a lot of people, but just know that it's coming from a place of love. We got to stop being spiritual punks and allowing the enemy to come into our homes, take what's rightfully ours, our marriages, our children, our finances, and we got to do something about it. And so through this vehicle, Keever, it's just our time. It's our time. And for those of you who are listening, I know you bought an anthology from someone. I know you want to support a friend. This is therapy. It is going to set the captives free. Keever, back over to you.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, and I also like to say that we need to make sure that we're not operating within that spirit of fear. It's really important for you to grab the bull by the horn and do not be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone, because that's where growth is. I love that. Thank you so much, Dr. Tina. Omu?
Wow. So, I mean, everyone has, I'm listening like I'm taking a lecture. Jackie had said something, and I picked up, that was actually what I was going to say. And it skipped me, but I'm sure that it would come back. But like everyone has said, when Kiva told me the title of the book, it was almost like she was talking about me. And I'm sure everyone here has either written a book or toyed with the idea of writing a book at some point, and you just kept, for one reason or the other, not doing it. And that was where I was. And there's several other projects everywhere with different titles, and I get some, and I always believe that I would not trade my spirituality or my religion or my faith. Faith is a better word. I would not trade my faith for anything. I would trade it for fame, for work, for whatever. And so these kept coming in, but it just never aligned with my values, and there was just something not comfortable sitting well in my spirit. But when I saw the title of the book, it was like he was talking about me. When you've worked yourself up to that point where you know that you're work in progress, you know that you're not perfect, but you like where you are, and you're positive that where God is taking you to is even a better place. So you're focused on the journey. For the longest time, I could never trust the process. I mean, when people said trust the process, it actually just upset me. I'm like, it's not working. What process am I trusting? You know, but I've learned to trust the process. So when the book came, it was timely, and in writing it, it was like, for me, a beginning of another journey.
I love that. Thank you so much. Miss Lisa, anything you have learned about yourself during this process?
Oh, absolutely. And, I was thinking when everyone was talking, usually this is what happens when I know this is a good project. And it's when people speak, starting when Jacqueline started talking about this, and then Amy and all of you all started talking, it was connecting the dots for me, because you all were actually talking about things that probably only Kiva knows is mentioned in my chapter. Um, the help, reaching out for help, and every time I do one of these anthologies or connection, it's amazing how the energy start to connect with each other, and you realize why you're in the room with these particular ladies for this particular project, and it was all coming together while you all were talking. I've learned that that's a thing. Like when you're writing on these projects, you don't have to be in the same room, but you are kind of gleaning off of each other, and I start to see the connections between all of us. And I learned, and one of the main things I learned and talked about was what Jacqueline said about reaching out and asking for help, because that is a struggle. And the other thing was that it's okay, whatever path I took to get where I am today. I think I was my hardest critic on, I didn't follow all the rules. And this kind of opened my eyes to the fact that we have to be okay with our path is our path. And it's not a right or wrong, it's just different. And it's taking me a while to embrace that, because you always feel like you did something wrong. So you minimize what you accomplished. And I'm doing better. And this book helped me to understand. And I had a couple of people say the same thing, is that I started to learn how playing small ain't the way to do this. And that's what I've been learning through this book project. And that's something that is an ongoing issue with me, because I usually will tend to, fall back a little bit and don't want people to think this. And this is helping me to embrace that. So playing small, no more. And I'm thankful for this project that's helping me push through, as Dr. Tina was talking about, pushing through.
I love it. I love it. A lot of wonderful nuggets, and we're going to actually piggyback off of what you said. But I wanted to allow Fachina an opportunity to share as well. So, anything you have learned about yourself during this particular process?
One, I learned, China, you know what? When I think about when I first moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and where I am now, my family said, China, you need to be very proud of yourself. That's what this book is reminding me and giving me a reminder of where I was 11 years ago, where I am now, and where he's taken me. And that process was not easy. It wasn't. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary for my growth. And I always ask God, when you get me to that point to deliver me, I will help every and anybody that I can. And I knew that in order to do it, I have to be honest. And anyone who knows me knows that I'm very transparent, because I don't know about anyone else, and I'm just going to keep it 100%. I'm tired of living in a world where we're sugarcoating stuff, where we're fluffing stuff up and trying to pretend like we're something, like we don't have stuff going on when we got a whole bunch of stuff going on. As Black women and women in general, I don't care if you're brown, Black, whatever, we have a tendency of smiling. We will smile through everything. Everything okay? Everything okay? No, everything is not okay. No, everything is not okay. And you know what? I love the idea that I can actually share that, like Jackie said, it's okay not to be okay. You're going to have those moments. And I don't want you to sit there and think that any one of us walking around here like we got it perfect, as the only one person that walked this earth was Jesus. That's it. And the only perfection we're going to see is when we're at the table with him, and when we go up and we can ask all the questions we want to ask. Because I personally myself got a few. Okay. So I'm saying all that to say it is okay. Yes, you can still grind. Yes, you can still whatever, but it's okay not to be okay. What I have learned is how to appreciate where I thought I wasn't making a difference, and I find out that I was. What I thought, and I started with me first, When I realized, Chena, do you realize how far you come in life? It was a self check for me, a self realization for me. And I'm just grateful that this project is here because, like you said, it's not just a book, it's not just or whatever. This is a movement. Okay. We are at this point in life where we cannot stand by and allow people to think it's okay. It's not okay. And it's okay that it's not okay. And that's what this book is doing for me because that's why I said it's my personal journey. It's my personal journey. And to be connected, like Lisa said, connecting the dot. God always knows when he's doing it, and who he wants to use for it. So I come as a humble servant to serve him because if the story wasn't designed for us, it was designed to show that we are proof that if he got us through it, he will get other people through it.
Yes, I love that. And for me personally, I must piggyback off of what you just said, Fachina. For me, is understanding that my story is not over yet, that I still have a lot more story to tell, right? And when you think about it, in these 45 years that I have lived, and I'm thankful for Jacqueline as well as another visionary author that allowed me to start this journey of my storytelling. And in doing that, it just ignited something within me. And when God gave me this title, Imperfectly Fierce and Focused, it helped me to understand that when you break down imperfect, it's I'm perfect. It's saying to yourself that I'm perfect and you are wonderfully and fearfully made. So it was just that realization that where I am, flaws and all, I'm still perfect where I am. Now, with that understanding, I had to also come to the realization that it's still allowing that room for growth. You don't have to stay stagnant where you are. And that was an epiphany for me. So I am so grateful for this project and you all for your contributions to this project. I want to ask for the woman, because primarily the majority of us serve women. This book, let me just put this out there, is not only for women. Whoever is going through your personal struggles, you will definitely be able to relate to a story in this book. But for those who may think that they are too damaged, that nobody can learn from them, that their trials and tribulations are just for them, and they are soaking in that moment instead of looking at that opportunity to see where they can grow from that. What message would you tell them where they at right now and how they can move forward? I'm going to start with Omu.
The message that there's a word that I actually just put by my table and I look at it all the time. And it says, now is where you would always find me. Now. And I woke up this morning and the first once I picked up my phone, I had bad news and it was one thing after the other. So I kept having to bring myself back to the present. And for every time I was working and I tried to derail, I just looked at it and I'll read it. Now is where you would always find me. So there's so much going on in the world. Social media doesn't help matters. You're hearing everything. You need to, the first thing you want to do is spend time with yourself and spend time with yourself and have those conversations. It's funny that when I people used to say spend time with yourself, have those conversations with yourself, I used to say, what do you think I do before I go to bed? And it took me a while to realize that you get caught up in everything happening. You're thinking of every other thing apart from yourself and what your inner self and what you really want. And that stops us from living in the now. So we're constantly thinking about the past and the future, and we lose sight of what's happening now. We lose sight of the air that we're breathing and the fact that we are alive here today and all the things that we should be grateful for. And instead, we focus on the things that we think that is bothering us. And, like I say to myself all the time, if I stayed awake thinking about a problem till tomorrow, even if I cried out blood, it's not going to change the problem. That will not be the solution to the problem. But you would only get to that point when you have that conversation with yourself. And you can only begin to mend yourself when you know yourself. Then you know what exactly it is you're mending. And then be very kind to yourself. For everyone here, we've shared our different struggles and challenges. And trust me, no one looks like what they have been through. Growing up, my mom had a saying that um, in the literal meaning is clothes covers everything. That, so what she's trying to say is when a woman dresses up and makes up, she looks so good and you never know what's going on inside. And that's basically what it is. Everyone dresses fancy. We've all taken a shower, did our makeup, have our lipsticks, and we're sitting on here. I mean, like Dr. Lewis said, she's having a tooth issue. You would never know if she didn't say a word. So if she took a picture today and posted it, we would all be oohing and eyeing, not knowing the pain she's going through. So you want to know yourself, live in the present, and just trust the process.
I love it. Anybody else wanted to add to that?
The only thing I'm going to say is you are not alone. You, I don't want you to think that you're the only person going through. You are not alone. Someone has been through what you've been through. Someone has overcome what you've been through. And all you have to do is speak it. And take away the fear. And if you're afraid, do it afraid.
Mhm. I love that. Thank you so much. Anybody else? Perfect.
Yeah, I just wanted to share one thing also. Just, I remember being young and feeling like no one else went through what I went through. And how would I share? Because no one would understand, right? And what if people judged me? And I just want to encourage the person who might be in that place to share your story because it matters. Your story matters, not just for you, but for people you may not even know. And I am a big believer, and I think I shared this on Fuchina's podcast. The more we share our stories, the more we come together. And in this world that we're living in, there's such a spirit of division. And so when I can normalize my human experience and share it, and you can share yours, we see the humanity in each of us. And that brings us together. That unites us. And if we're going to make it, I think we want to come together more. So please share your story. And just to echo, get to know yourself. And if you don't know how, take that step to begin to figure out how to know yourself. Because I did not just wake up knowing myself. I had to peel back the layers. And you can too. And I can't wait to hear your story.
I love that. Anybody else? Perfectly.
I was just going to share two words, and for me, it's push play. I think a lot of times we live on pause. Um, we're hesitating, we're waiting, we're finding excuses why we can't or why not now. And my two words are just push play, and I'm kind of referring back without giving information about what's in the book, but I think that that's where people will gain some of the explanation, because if we push pause on some things, we'll never reach those goals, those achievements, and the only way we can get there is to keep going. So I just say push play. That's the only way you're gonna get there. You can't get there on pause. So
That's right. You have to be moving. I I love that. Anybody else? Don't want to cut anybody off. I love that. Well, awesome. Well, listen, if you're just joining us, you are watching part 5 of our second series with Imperfectly Fierce and Focused. And I have my amazing contributing authors in the house tonight. And we're just talking very briefly about just a few nuggets and gems that you can look forward to when you read this book. This book, Imperfectly Fierce and Focused, is more than just an anthology. I believe that it is definitely a movement. And this is just the beginning of what you can expect from this compilation project. So I have in my virtual studio 5 of the authors. We had one that was on, Dr. Tina D. Lewis. She had to pop off, but we've thoroughly enjoyed her being here as well. So we're going to take a very brief commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to have our co-authors wrap up just how they are living Imperfectly Fierce and Focused. So we're going to have them share that with you, and then we will wrap up our show. So don't go anywhere. We have more to come. So stay tuned. Have you ever struggled with procrastination, imposter syndrome, or a false reality of perfection? Have you ever suffered from trauma, anxiety, or depression? Then I have a solution just for you. Introducing Imperfectly Fierce and Focused, rising above your imperfections while still crushing your goals. This anthology is to empower, uplift, and motivate readers to recognize their ability and strength to get beyond the spirit of perfection, fear, and procrastination. So if you're ready to stop the excuses, stop the procrastination, and start living your best version of yourself, then prepare yourself for this powerful book release. It's going to be epic. Like and follow our Facebook page, Imperfectly Fierce and Focused, rising above your imperfections while still crushing your goals. And welcome back to Imperfectly Fierce and Focused, rising above your imperfections while still crushing your goals. You're watching Kiva's Place, the Kiva Murdoch Show and Podcast, and you're just tuning in. I have my amazing contributing authors to this book project, and you just watched our very brief commercial, so you know to stay tuned and to like and follow our Facebook page. If you haven't already, go to Facebook and Instagram, Imperfectly Fierce and Focused. Like and follow us. We are just a few more weeks away, just a couple more weeks away, ladies and gentlemen. So you definitely don't want to miss a thing. You don't want to miss anything. So definitely stay tuned, like and follow us for the actual release dates, which is going to be coming very, very, very soon. So awesome. So before I break, ladies, I wanted you to just be able to chime in and let our readers know just a little bit about even just dealing with life, with businesses, raising families. There are a lot of challenges that we face on a day-to-day basis, but getting through those obstacles, how are you still able to live Imperfectly Fierce and Focused? And we'll start with Fachina and then just go down the line.
I was hoping to be last. No, I'm great. I would just say just to continue to live, and it's okay if you make a mistake. It's okay if you trip. It's okay if you fall. The thing is, don't stay stuck. Dust yourself off and keep it moving. The beautiful thing about being stuck by tripping up is that you don't have to start all over again. You could just learn and start where you stopped.
I love that. And let them know where they can find you at, Fachina.
Oh, sure.
We live, people. We're live. This is live TV. So her feed must have went out. So if she pops back on, we will definitely bring her back on the screen. So Lisa, we will go ahead and move on to you. How are you still able to live imperfectly fierce and focused?
Well, that is a huge question. I'm going to give credit to the man upstairs for a lot of this because sometimes I have no answer. But I will say that every day making those decisions, hard, easy, indifferent, but continuing to make decisions. You got to make a decision, whether you're going to go to the left or the right, or say yes or say no. When you said something about no earlier, and no is a complete sentence, that was a struggle for me, because you want to help people, you do want to please people, you want to see everybody have that smile on their face, and sometimes we're doing that for others when we can't even find our own. So I just say that, making decisions has kept me focused, even if it's a hard decision to make, which I think is igniting that fierceness inside of me. And of course, all of that with the imperfections of the days. Every day is an imperfect day, whether it's bad hair day, bad whatever day, but to keep moving in that space. So as long as you know that no matter what you're looking like, no matter what you're feeling like, you you can do this. So I would just say you got this, keep going. Like I said, push that pause button a second time and go into play. And you can find me actively on social media. I love being out on social media and sharing this book project. I'm trying, Kiva, to tag you in some TikTok stuff with this imperfect. And I'm imperfect on TikTok, but I'm embracing it. But you can find me on all the social media platforms, Lisa Dove Washington. And I look forward to what's coming with this release. So please stay tuned.
I love it. And girl, you know I'm just getting my feet wet with TikTok. So
I'm gonna try to tag you because I'm trying to learn those TikTok streets, but yeah, I'm a work in progress.
nothing wrong with that. I love it. Miss Omu.
Okay, so I have learned to celebrate myself, and I have learned to truly be happy and smile, um, for two reasons. I make sure, one, there's always something to be thankful about, just that we don't check or we don't look for it. There's always something to be thankful about. So I'm very intentional about finding the things to be thankful about. And I keep a gratitude journal. So I find things to be thankful about and to be grateful for, and focus less on the things that I think that are not going well. I also have learned to celebrate myself every little step. I mean, I'm a bit OTT, so I celebrate myself. I celebrate myself, and it does a lot for your confidence. It does a lot to your brain. And it shows. So you suddenly start getting comments like, "Oh, you're so confident. Oh, you spoke so well." And in my head, I'm like, if only you knew. So yes, celebrate yourself, and be very grateful for whatever it is that you have. There's always something to be thankful for.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And we just cannot celebrate ourselves enough. And a lot of people see that as they don't do it because they feel as if they're boasting. But what they don't
Yeah,
understand is those little wins definitely help you to see your progress, because sometimes when you are heels in going through a particular task, it's really hard to see how far you've come. But if you really take those opportunities just to appreciate how far what you have accomplished and breathe, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Omu, because I feel as if we are starting to get there, but we still don't do that enough. So that is, I'm grateful to see that you are to that point where you are celebrating every little win, and we need to make sure that we are teaching our other men and women to continue to do the same. I love that. How can they reach out to you, Amu?
Oh, on Facebook, I'm Omo Below. On LinkedIn, I'm Omo Below. Everywhere else, on TikTok, on Instagram, I'm Thrive with Omo.
I love it. I have to get my TikTok game up. I love it. Okay, Dr. Jacqueline.
Okay. So listen, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, and first I have to piggyback with Miss Omu, definitely celebrating my wins, patting myself on the back as I go along, and being okay with that, because typically I felt some kind of way about doing that, like you said, like I was boasting or becoming complacent or whatever the case is, but being able to celebrate my accomplishments along the way, and to add to that, to be gentler with myself. Like when I do mess up, which happens often, right? To be okay with it and not attack myself, because I know in the past I used to just kind of like, oh, I can't believe I did that, and oh, that was so silly, and just on and on and on, right? So just when I make a mistake now, I acknowledge it. And like if it's with a boss or something like that, I acknowledge it, apologize, and just say, okay, so going forward, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I do the same thing in my business, you know, so that's huge for me. So those two things.
I love that. Yes. And how can they reach out to you on social media, Jacqueline?
Oh, right. Okay. So on Facebook, I'm under my full name, Dr. Jacqueline Kabah Harrison. And same thing on LinkedIn. That's Facebook and LinkedIn. And my business Facebook page is Realizing Your Potential 123, as well as Instagram is Realizing Your Potential 123.
I love that. Thank you so much. And Miss Amy, how are you living imperfectly fierce and focused?
First of all, it's all the things everyone else said. I'm like, yes, I decide, and yes, I celebrate myself and gratitude. Yes, and Jacqueline, you were talking about being gentle with yourself and accepting yourself, right? And I think the way for me, above all of those things, that I definitely stay fierce and focused is I believe, like I believe that I believe that I believe my life is to be abundant. And I cannot be abundant when I'm sitting on my couch being small. I just can't. So I know that if I'm going to win in life, I have to keep going. And so I want to. It's all of the things everybody said. And just knowing in my mind that I am meant to live abundantly. And so I'm going in for it.
I love it. Yes, ma'am. And that's what it is all about. I don't think people realize that life and death lies in your tongue. And it's
Yes.
not only talking about the physical death. You can speak life into your businesses, or you can curse your businesses. You can speak life into relationships, or you can deem your relationships to die. There's power in what we speak and what we say. The Bible tells us to write the vision and make it plain. There's a reason for that. You need to be very specific in where you want to go. And part of that is manifestation, being able to see it, speak it, believe it. And believe it or not, you have to speak it and believe it before you see it. How about them apples? And you really have to just hone in on, and part of that comes with literally knowing who you are, tapping into you and whose you are. And if you do that, you will start to see your life turning around. But Amy hit the nail right on the head. You have to know who you are and be confident in who you are and speak it, believe it, and watch it come into fruition. Take that to the bank. Promise you that. How can they follow you on social media, Amy?
Yes.
Excited.
So my name, Amy Ayers Mindy, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Um, Not in the TikTok realm yet. Look, I just started creating my own commercials, one thing at a time. That's something I learned about myself through this too, that tech and I can get along. So yes, just my name. And I also have my business page, ABR Coaching, Consulting, and Training. Can I share what ABR stands for?
Sure.
Ask, believe, receive. Yes, because we have to, like you were saying, Kiva, ask and then believe it's coming in the right time, not on our time, but in the right time, and then just wait to receive. It's a whole mindset, right? Thank you.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yes. Listen, I hope you are excited as I am about this upcoming project, Imperfectly Fierce and Focused, rising above your imperfections while still crushing your goals. You should definitely like and follow our Facebook and Instagram pages and profiles to stay abreast of the release dates. We had it tentatively scheduled for the end of May. Of course, when you are dealing with a project such as this, we don't want to rush it. We want it to be just as God has ordained it to be. So we will ask you to give us some grace for a few more weeks, but nevertheless, be expecting it because it is definitely coming out. And when it drops, you want to have this tool in your arsenal to get you through just many life challenges, whether that's personal or professional. I believe that this project is going to be exactly what you need to get you through life's challenges. And as I stated earlier, this is not the end. This particular book is not the end. So there is more to come under the Imperfectly Fierce and Focused umbrella. So you definitely want to stay tuned. You definitely want to get this book and you want to follow each and every one of us on this stage. So definitely follow us. Thank you, ladies, so much for being on the show tonight. I am so grateful to have you on this project. And listen, I just can't wait for it to drop because I know that it is going to be impactful. So thank you for sharing your experiences with our upcoming readers. So
Thank you. Yes.
So
Thank you.
You're welcome. So definitely come and tune in next Tuesday night. We will have a special edition show with Miss Tina Young Holman. So she has a few nuggets she will be dropping next Tuesday. So come right back for our special edition show. And then we will wrap up the week as we do every Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So until next time, family, continue to share, connect, and glow because building your network also builds your net worth. So until next time, peace and blessings. Love you much. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you for watching Kiva's Place, the Kiva Murdoch Show and Podcast. Tune in every Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Kiva's Place. To be a guest on our show, text the word guest to 803-368-3030 or visit us at tinyurl.com/Kiva's Place Book. And watch us on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire as we're broadcasting in more than 60 million homes worldwide.